Chapter 4 in the earliest cities, saving an old buildings. Jaspal and Harpreet were playing cricket in the lane outside their home when they noticed the people who were admiring the dilapidated old building that the children call it the haunted house. Look at the architecture, said one of the men. Have you seen the fine wood carving? asked one of the women. We must write to the minister so that she makes argument to repair and preserve this beautiful house. Why, they wondered, would anybody be interested in the old run down house? The story of Harappa. Very often old buildings have a story to tell. Nearly 150 years ago, when railway lines were being laid down for the first time in the Punjab, engineers stumbled upon the site of Harappa in present day Pakistan. To them, it seemed like a mud that was a rich source of ready-made high quality bricks, so they carried off thousands of bricks from the walls of the old buildings of the city to build railway lines. Many buildings were completely destroyed. Then about 80 years ago, archaeologists found the site and realized that this was one of the oldest cities in the subcontinent, as this was where similar buildings and other things were found were described as Harappan. This city is developed about 4,700 years ago. Very 14 old buildings are pulled down to make way for new constructions. Do you think it is important to preserve old buildings? What was special about these cities? Many of these cities were divided into two or more parts. Usually the part of the west was smaller but higher. Archaeologists describe this as the citadels generally. The part of the east was largest but lower. This is called the lower town. Very often walls of bucket brick were built around each part. The bricks were so well bucket that they have lasted for thousands of years. The bricks were laid in the interlocking pattern and that made the wall strong. In some cities, special buildings were constructed on the citadel. For example, in Mohenjo-daro, a very special tank which archaeologists call the Great Bath was built in this area. This was lined with bricks coated with plaster and made watertight with a layer of natural tar. There were steps leading down to it from two sides, while there were rooms on all sides. Water was probably brought in from a well and drained out after use. Perhaps important people took a dip in this tank on special occasions. Other cities such as Kalibangana and Lothal had fire altars where sacrifice may have been performed, and some cities like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal had elaborated storehouses, house drain and streets. Generally, houses were either one or two stories high with rooms built around a courtyard. Most houses had a separate bathing area and some had wells to supply water. Many of these cities had covered drains. Notice how carefully these were laid out in straight lines. Although you cannot see it, each drain had gently slopes so that water could flow through it very often drains in houses were connected to this one. The streets and smaller drains led into bigger ones as the drains were covered. Inspections halls were provided at intervals to clean them. All three houses, drains and streets were probably planned and built at the same time. List at least two differences between the houses described her and this that you studies about in chapter